Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to Sunny's Geeky Grove. In this episode, we are going to be continuing discussing one new and one old game. And let's just jump right into it. We are going to start off with the new game. And once again, new as in within the last 5 years, which I know it covers both previous gen consoles and current gen, but hey, needed a broad term. So let's start with Until Dawn. This is a PS4 exclusive and it released in August of 2015. It is developed by Supermassive Games, and like I said, it's a PS4 exclusive. So essentially this game is a horror-themed game, obviously, and you are fighting to survive the night. There are many different horror tropes played out in this game, and it's kind of like a Telltale Games game by you making choices, and it's more story-driven than puzzles or killing things. While there are certain quick time interactions and making choices, it's mainly, here's a really great story that could be a movie, but we're going to make it into an interactive game. And you have 4 men, 4 women, and it is beautifully done. It's set in, I believe, Western Canada, and it follows these 8 people a year after one of their friends, who was kind of the black sheep of the group, after her and her twin sister die. And you're kind of going there to remember them and pay your respects. And they were lost there. And it has its issues as far as, certain mechanics aren't the greatest. Sometimes when you're moving, the camera kind of messes up and all of a sudden now you're walking backwards, or you're trying to push forward and you're backing up and turning around and walking backwards. So it does have some issues, but the overall story is so much fun to live. And you play as one of the 8 characters. They're all controllable, and there are different chapters. You learn more. There are clues all throughout the map as far as what happened to the previous twins. The research that had gone on in the community as far as what took place, and certain events that transpired back in the day, if you will. And it was a mining town, and it's up in the mountains, and you learn about the Wendigos there and the Native American lore of the Wendigos, and you just really get all of these different clues and insights. And following along with Native American lore, there are totems throughout the world. I believe there are 36, and when you find a totem, it will show a brief little scene, and in that scene, it is either an opportunity of how you can successfully complete something, or it could be somebody potentially dying in order to give you a hint of how not to do that. And it's such a great feature. It really does add to the suspense, to the dread that you feel while playing this game. Because when you find one and you're playing as, for instance, you're playing as Emily, and you find a totem and, oh, hey, it's a death totem. Okay, so let's look at it. And then it shows Emily's death. And it shows her getting shot in the eye. And you're like, well, heck, I don't want that to happen. How can I avoid that? So then if you're playing and all of a sudden Emily gets bitten by the creature traveling behind her, which is a Wendigo, and she gets trapped and gets bitten, well, can she hide that from the group? Does she have to show it? Do they find out? Can she lie around it? Are there other characters that know more? Is the bite contagious? Will she get turned? Things like that. It's so great. And it really does have this dynamic of finding clues and choosing whether to tell the group, to not tell the group, to be kind of a not nice person, or to be empathetic and sympathetic. It has choices, even though they're very limiting. There's X or Y. That's it. You get one. Even though there's just those two choices, typically, it really does help you navigate through the story and figure out how you want to play it, and how your choices impact whether or not all 8 can survive the night. It is possible. You can get the trophy for killing everybody, having everybody alive, having just 4 women alive, having just 4 men alive, or having all 4 women, all 4 men. Actually, if you have all 8 alive, you will get 3 trophies. Having all 8, having 4 women, having 4 men alive at the end of the night. So that is a possibility. There's also clues around the world, like I've mentioned, but they're not necessarily facts about the past or anything like that, but they do directly tie into what happened to the twins. And by not finding those, it can affect who lives and dies, which is just so great. And it's jump scary in like the best way, where your heartbeat is racing and you're just having a blast the entire time. I loved it. And I thought that, it was actually the very first game that I ever platinumed. So I was really proud of myself on that. So Until Dawn was a game on PS Plus a couple months ago, actually. But you can still buy it at most places for about $19.99, which is pretty great. That is how great of a game it is. It's still like full price. That's not full price, obviously. But let's shift our attention now to the classic game, the old game. And we have another exclusive, but this time it's a Microsoft exclusive. Fable 3. Yes, Fable 3. It is produced and developed by Lionhead Studios, and it came out in October of 2010. This game is so good. It is kind of campy like Saints Row games, where it doesn't take itself too serious, but it does have serious elements as well. It has pretty awesome mechanics, and they improved the experience for the guild seals. They improved that from Fable 2. It used to be you would get lots of different orbs on the ground from killing mobs and completing quests and stuff. But now it's just, you get one type and it goes to your guild seals, and you can spend those on the road to rule by opening chests to upgrade your melee, your ranged weapons, your magic. You can get expression packs and different types of clothing or hair dye, and it has so many different customizable things, and it's so great. Also, in one of the chests on the road to rule is the option to become a merchant and a landlord, which means that you can then start buying stores and houses and cottages in all of the different worlds, and you can set rent low, normal, high, very high, or free even on the other end of the spectrum. And the residents of Albion will pay for their houses. Obviously, they're paying rent. And you can start amassing this gold, which if you are trying to play on the good side, you'll need a lot of gold before you take over the throne. That's a little bit of a spoiler. Sorry about that. But eventually, you will take over the throne. And if you don't have that gold, you go into debt and you have to break promises and pacts that you made, which then turn the people against you. And it's just such a fun dynamic. It's so great. I've sank a lot of hours into Fable 3. There is just, there's so much in the world. There are books to find as far as collectibles go. There are books to find. Diaries you can find in some of the DLC. There are gnomes all around the world that will talk smack to you and will taunt you and make horrible, horrible jokes that are just so perfect and so wonderful.
We could be best friends if I like people with an ass for a face. I'm not like those mean gnomes. I'm a million times worse.
And honestly, it's so funny. And there are different types of weapons that you can find in the world, but not all of them will appear in your world, which is a little bit of a disappointing aspect to it, because then you do have to find another player, enter their world, see if they have different weapons than what you have. And it can be frustrating, especially when I got to the game. I got to it in, let's say, 2014. It was probably before then, but the game had been out forever. And yet, here I am. I'm a newbie, and there's not a big player base. So it's one of those games that you mainly play by yourself and hope that maybe one day one of your friends will want to hop on and let you into their world so you can see if they have the weapons that you don't have, and then say, okay, bye. Because ultimately it's not very populated, but it is backwards compatible on the Xbox One X. Well, on the Xbox One and the One X. And so that's how I play it now, even though my save is kind of corrupt because of 2 of the free DLCs won't download on the One X. That, like, the Yule hat and the Highwayman clothing set won't download. Like, it's the market place doesn't like it, I guess. But ultimately, it's still a lot of fun. There's little quirks where you can have intercourse with other members of the kingdom. You can have intercourse with people on your friends list. And if you don't use protection, just like in real life, you might contract an STI. So, and those show on your body. And also, when you take damage in a fight, you will have scars on your body. So the better you are at dodging and blocking, the better your appearance will be if you dislike scars. If you like the look of scars, which I think they look cool, and I have scars on my face and my throat and on the torso, I think, for my queen. And that's, battle wounds, battle scars. I think they look great. So it's all up to you and your gameplay, how you want to play it, how you want to do it. It's the best. It's, like I said, it's quirky, and it's so insane. And it really is just such a treat if you are into kind of like a medieval meets steampunk meets Saints Row type of game. You can still buy Fable 3 and the physical disc. I've seen a lot of them going on like eBay for about $5 on Buy It Nows. And there are some stores that you can purchase it from for about $9.99. Collector's editions are going to be way higher than that. I keep seeing them popping up on eBay and Amazon for about $79.99. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that unless you are a really big fan of the Fable series. Fable 3 is similar in tone, but a little more campy than Fable 2. I have not played Fable 1. I played Fable 3 first, then Fable 2, then tried to play Fable 1. Was not a big fan, but that's to be expected when you go backwards in graphics and stuff like that. But yeah, you can still get it for about $5 to $10 depending on where you find it and when you're looking and all of that. So I want to say thank you for listening. If you made it all the way through, smash that like button. Or if you didn't make it all the way through and didn't like this, smash that dislike button. That's fine. I mean, I hear that both help, I guess. I don't know. But I'd rather if you thumb me hard and hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell if you want to get notified. And if you are new here, welcome. This is Sunny's Geeky Grove, where we talk about all things geeky. Look out for next week's podcast episode. Episode 4, we will be doing the last part of our 4-part series of new versus old games that I recommend and love. And on Wednesday, tomorrow, I will be posting my very first unboxing video, which is, well, just you'll have to just wait and see. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you are in the United States, noon Pacific Standard Time, and Tuesday at 4. Thanks, guys. Bye.